Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so very glad to see so many of you out here, shoulder to shoulder, with each other to show that you stand in support of an independent Scottish Republic. When the first draft, the line-up for the speakers today was posted, I was due to speak after Humza Yousaf, so I thought no pressure. So I'm sorry to see that our current First Minister hasn't fit to stand with us today. And I believe that on this issue, the professional political class which stands at the head of the independence movement in Scotland is significantly out of step with us, the people. Also not with us today are many of my trade union colleagues who are attending the Lothians Trade Union rally in Edinburgh. They're marching to celebrate the work done by the trade unions across the world and who have worked to give us many of the terms and conditions that we now enjoy today. Shorter working weeks, days off, paid leave, sick pay and pensions were not gifts bestowed on us by the great and the good. These are rights which had to be dragged from wealthy businessmen and women who got immeasurably rich by harnessing the efforts and the energy of people like you and people like me, the working class. But those rights are under attack. Day after day the Tories plot and plan to take away your rights. They want a minimum wage, 0-hour workforce. They want to make it easy to get rid of you without any comeback. They want a workforce who are afraid to answer them back. They want a workforce who are afraid to get sick. And they want a workforce stripped of their right to strike. And they are winning. The minimum service levels bill may have been pushed back by the House of Lords in England, but ultimately the Tory government can and will bring it back, and it will be enacted, removing the right to strike from hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And if you cannot strike, then what are you? You're a slave, that's what you are. Yes. So what can you do? Well, for starters, join a union. Gain the protection that your trade union provides and help to organise and ensure that you and your fellow workers get the pay, terms and conditions that you deserve, not what your bosses think that they can get away with giving you. And when you do join your union, get active. By linking arms with the Tories in 2014, some trade unions caused immeasurable damage to the trade union movement. So be the voice of the independence movement in your union and never let that happen again. Otherwise, the parcel of rogues in the Labour Party will speak on your behalf, and they won't be speaking in your interest. In the short term, the election of a Labour government in Westminster might provide some respite from this by reversing some legislation, but be under no illusions. The Tories will be back, and they can reverse anything that the Labour Party does. Of course, we wouldn't be in this mess if the British Nationalist Labour Party in Scotland hadn't blocked the devolution of employment legislation under the Smith Commission in 2014. But that's the small print of better together that they would rather you forget. If you take one thing away from today, it's remember this: don't fall for Labour's false promises. And that short-term answer, by the way, doesn't solve Scotland's problems. And all it does is push it a bit further down the line. Pushes independence down the line. And when the Tories return, and they will, it will be too late. The answer to Scotland's problems will not be found by falling into line with England. It will be found by stepping out into the world ourselves and taking decisions for ourselves and accepting responsibility for the outcomes of those decisions, be they good or bad. And when we do finally take that massive step, we must start off that new chapter in Scottish history by immediately implementing the lessons that we've learned over Scotland's recent past. We must put an end to the professional political class which exists across our Parliament. It is simply unacceptable that we can have professional politicians like Murdo Fraser, who can receive rejection after rejection from the electorate and yet repeatedly end up on the public purse. 2 terms as a list MSP and you should be out the door. Likewise, we must end the use of the list as a safety net for failed politicians who the public vote out of office, such as Elaine Smith of Labour, who after being voted out in Coatbridge, jumped onto the list and sat as a list MSP until she retired, taking her pension with her. That has to stop. Our politicians need a reminder that we, the people of Scotland, are sovereign, not them. Speaking of sovereigns, we don't need them either. When Betty Windsor died, we were told now is not the time to discuss the future with the monarchy. Well, behind the scenes, the ruling classes were ensuring that there was, as one commentator put it, a seamless transition of power. We live here in the Central Belt where sectarianism is still a massive problem. The R word is a divisive term which sends one side into a froth and rage, another side will cheer and give you a wee wink. It's time we could have a grown-up discussion about republicanism and becoming a republic. There is nothing wrong with being a republic and nothing wrong with being a Republican. The dictionary defines a republic as being a state in which the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives, in which is an elected or nominated president rather than a monarch. And in the 21st century, shouldn't we be looking to join the other 159 republics in the world, not the 40-odd monarchies? If there's one thing that we can learn from Betty's brood, it's that their family can be every bit as dysfunctional as the next. They are nothing special, and it's high time we stop treating them as such. So get off your knees, Scotland. Stop doffing your caps and start treating the majesties, the sirs, the lords and the ladies with the contempt that they deserve. Demand independence for Scotland and down with the crown.
Amen to that. Great speech again there, Jim. You should remind the SDUC